This is Byron Gordon with your SES Conference Channel update. We're at SES San Jose Day 3, and the social media panel, marketing media panel just finished up. We're talking to Brent Csutoras, who delivered some fine words of wisdom on the topic, so we're going to ask Brent a little bit if he could share that with us. Brent, could you talk a little bit about the importance of social media marketing, obviously in general, and then talk about some of the challenges faced by those who are trying to incorporate tools and applications in trying to do so?
Well, the importance of social media is I think, pretty much common sense from where I'm coming from. I mean, basically what social media is it's the interaction of you versus your customers, your service providers. And that's something that people have been battling over since the beginning of marketing, is how can they interact with their users. So the idea of social media and allowing people to have interaction with you in multiple different facets is just, you know, it's one of those essential things that people are just really starting to grasp on, but it's pretty much something that people have been demanding for years, a voice online within companies and stuff like that. So the challenges people have really at this point is one, understanding all the various markets. So there's like, social media is really broad, right? So there's like social media for link building, which I specialize in and I work more on because I'm a previous SEO. So I look at it more as like an assistant to my search marketing strategies and as a form of link building. But there's a lot of other aspects to it. There's like real-time communication, like Twitter, and there's feedback, and then there's actual on sites. Like they had one of the speakers from monster.com. They're talking about how they actually interact with their users. So there's corporations interacting with their users, real-time communication networks like IMs and chat rooms, forums, you know, and a lot of other avenues and communities like Facebook and whatnot. So the challenge, I guess, that people really have is determining what's the best avenue for them for what they're looking to accomplish.
What about a point was brought up about measuring the effectiveness of the tools and applications and the communities you're participating in? What can you say about that?
Measuring is always difficult. I really believe that social media is one of those things that you have to understand fundamentally how it works, how people's patterns of purchases and their conversion patterns work, and have faith in the system and how it works. Okay, so it's just like real media. You know, you create a commercial, you put it on TV, and you hope that if you get the right time period and the right time slot on the right channel that, you know, matches up with what you're trying to promote, then you're going to get a viewership and you're going to get a conversion on that. There's no real solid way to to the fine level, say, I got X number of this from my push. But there's ranges, right? So if you know, I guess that's not true. There is one metric that you could
Sure.
track, and that would be traffic. So if you're running a CPM model and you're looking for traffic, well, then you can very clearly tell how much traffic you got. The point is, I guess, is that what you have to do is believe in it enough to know that there's X number of % of success rate. So if I'm doing 4 social media campaigns and I normally get out of 4 one really big success, and that one really big success equals X amount of traffic and X amount of links, then I believe that if I've done this for a year and it's been pretty solid like that, then the next campaign is going to have the same % chance. So it really is getting involved long term, seeing the overall change. But because of the fact that I use it more as like a link building strategy, it really can spiral out of control. So how do you know if something that you got on Dig really got linked from TBS because of Dig, or maybe it was just because TBS happened to come by your site and find you? So there's always a little ambiguity to it. So you just have to really believe in the concept behind it and say, I want to participate in this. And that's kind of a really long answer, but...
Right, that's all right. Let's conclude with tips. You had a great laundry list of tips. Let's see if we can maybe go back for those that didn't get a chance to attend this, what they should be looking out for and things they should be doing.
And so a lot of the tips that I give right now are really kind of high level, really kind of overall, but the majority of the tips that you want to follow within social media is kind of 3-part, right? So you want to make sure that your site's ready for social media. So you don't want to try to convert to social media users. They're just like, you know, really savvy computer people. They're a lot of times will have ad blockers. A lot of times they're not going to look at your marketing campaign. So, you know, having a sign up for this or buy this now, or, you know, having ads on those pages is not going to help you. It actually could hurt you. So you want to avoid trying to make a pitch or a sales conversion within the first 24 to 48 hours. You want to avoid that on your website. You want to make sure your website is designed in a way that's friendly to users. All the content's on one page, and you know, it's not crowded with a bunch of navigation or sidebars that take away from the content. when you make content for social media, you want to make sure that you research the content. If you're going to submit to a certain site, you want to make sure it relates to what you're talking about so that you have a good audience. You don't want to take something about, animals to a politics site. My dog, 10 ways to walk my dog on a politics site is going to get killed. So you want to make sure that you relate, and you want to make sure that your content is not simple. You really are doing it to, from my point of view, again, it's from a link building standpoint, you want people to link to it. You want people to respect that content. You want to brand yourself. You need to have quality content that deserves those factors. So make sure that you don't, shortcut your content or whatever it is that you're pushing. Make sure that you take the time to research, find out what works, what doesn't work, make it full, think if there's any questions that are unanswered by that content, and then answer them in some way, whether linking out or on the article. And then once you get into social, once you actually start submitting and pushing, understand how those communities work. I don't recommend people go out and submit right away. I recommend they take a month almost and really look at how people comment, what they vote on, what they like, what they don't like, and understand it, because this is one of those things that every single part has to work to get the result that you want. So where you shortcut, you're cutting yourself, off from getting to your success.
All right, social media insight from Brent Csutoras. This is Byron Gordon for the SES Conference Channel. Keep watching.